Tonight, I thought I'd do a little bit of a mea culpa to the Okinami Kanagawa, Kanagawa Nami Army this cozy, cold January afternoon in Texas. It's cold out. It might snow here. It's funny, it's cold here, but I feel like the end of crypto winter is just here. I feel like these are the last days of crypto winter, and I'm just really happy about that. Kind of celebrating that on my own. And thinking about this whole rabbit hole chase with the Okinami dev. That we have these other video images from our good buddy Ben on Instagram, who was at the Ethereum speaking event, and just happened to turn his camera to the left, and there's this guy with the Okinami, clear as day, Okinami T-shirt logo on the back once you clean the image. But the image is just such a side profile that you can't really make out the face. I could look like him, you know, because I have brown hair, beard. We looked at numerous developers for Ethereum, so many of which kind of look like me a little bit. Zach Galifianakis too, and that was the joke, which was running in the Telegram. Link in the description. I just want to preface, this is not financial advice. This is not investing advice. This is strictly for entertainment only, but we're talking about who is the Okinami dev. And lo and behold, this Instagram footage does show somebody who would be at least in the video. Oh, this is the only fact. There's a video showing the Okinami Roadmap White Paper 2002, 2003, or 2022 to 2023. That's the event. We know that's the event. And then there's a guy, Ben on Instagram, looking to his left as though he recognizes somebody, making a very discreet video of videoing him taking a picture of the roadmap white paper, maybe at the exact moment the video was being made. Okay, that our Telegram has expounded upon time and time again. Where this now we know where they sat. Now we know they have an Okinami T-shirt. We just have no idea who in the hell this person is. This cat could be anyone, which is okay. I want to come to my point and say I've gone to a very zen place about this and have come to total acceptance that it doesn't matter who it is. We all can be Ryoshi. We all can be fishermen. All right. It's probably getting back to, let's go to our baseline here and be practical. There's probably a team of people working on this based on the sophistication of the transactions on the blockchain. That's your golden goose egg right there. There's so much going on in the blockchain. This is a huge anomaly. It's not just an old wallet. It's an old wallet tied to wallets with lots of ETH, doing things in time sequences that are just very dynamic, very innovative. The only people who can do this are ETH developers, because they have the software, the code, the bots, the AI, everything to do all this stuff. Like as if a lot of testing was going on. So let me just say this. The ETH Foundation may or may not be developing this, but the ETH Foundation has never come out from my research. In my research, Vitalik Buterin and the ETH developers have never come out and have publicly stated that we will not be creating layer 2 scaling solutions or layer 2 side chains or roll-ups, ZK roll-ups, or whatever the case may be. They have never said we will not do any of this in-house. Although they have mentioned things like Polygon, layer 2 solution, and it's helping the scaling of Ethereum. Great test run through the last bull market, because it really did lower fees on Ethereum significantly. You could post NFTs. And I was doing my NFTs on OpenSea. I can tell you from personal experience, Polygon NFTs on OpenSea, you could mint them and it was like free. It's a little bit right now, like a penny. It's still super cheap. Nobody has come out, at least to my knowledge, from the Ethereum side of things, the leadership or otherwise. And I don't see many analysts even opining this way as far as the next Ethereum token, because essentially there's Ethereum, and if in-house there's another token that is directed by the ETH Foundation to be created, and who knows who they assembled for this team. The team may have to be anonymous. The team may actually be a stealth team, and it has to be. And it has to be for the regulatory climate we're entering into in 2023, 2024. We're talking significant worldwide regulations like they did for the internet. And these people don't want to go to jail for something if just, by happenstance just did something that's against regulation. But I'm not saying they would ever go to jail for anything. But that's the type of fear you would be having as a developer of a decentralized banking system or decentralized finance, and dare I say a decentralized transaction technology on par with a Visa credit card, where you can put ETH on a card, and scaling solutions allow you to use the card to do transactions anywhere, any place that you can use Ethereum as currency. Which maybe some of these other scaling tokens you're using instead, because it's just lower transaction. If I'm going to the movie theater, I don't want to spend a lot of transaction fee on going to Cinemark, who accepts, I believe that's AMC accepts Shiba Inu, Bitcoin, and so on. Shibarium's coming out, and it's probably dropping Valentine's Day as we're all speaking, the public beta version of it. So it's been tested immensely. Shiba Inu, essentially Shibarium, becoming a layer 2 solution for scaling Ethereum too, because you're going to be converting Shib to ETH to Shib. It's going to be crazy. Using Bone on the network, maybe Bone to ETH to Bone, staking rewards, pairing these things, going to be ETH Shib, ETH Bone, staking rewards that are going to be pretty good. So ETH will be picking up and scaling in that solution. I'm not sure if Cardano, I have to take another look. I'm not sure what was going on, if Cardano either will be competitive or synergistic, if there's a synergy there that could scale, especially with NFTs. So in terms of looking at, on-chain, side-chain, or whatever, and what the solutions may be, we're looking at scalability being the goal. This is the Surge token. Okinami is, quote-unquote, the Surge token. The block chain message, the surge, was synonymous, or it's almost close to simultaneous to when Vitalik Buterin posted the updated Ethereum roadmap with the surge in it. Wave imagery everywhere. It's undoubtable, without a doubt, the way the Hokusai's artwork, the Great Wave of Kanagawa, the artwork is pervasive now, with things that the ETH developers have been working on. I have been looking at so many people who may be the developer, the dev, for Okinami to see who I could figure out that it is. There's too many guys with beards. Let me just recap. We thought it was at first Eddie Lazarin, or Lazarin. Then it was Daniel Noblesdorf, and because he talks about his stealth project in his tweet. Okay, and then I went down a rabbit hole last night. Forgive me for this, but the guy I was looking at, Gregory, I think it was Gregory Markow. Excuse me if I didn't get his name right, but Gregory Markow, the rugby player, he's too big. I think he's too big. Now that somebody showed me some pictures of him, I'm like, if that's him, then his arm doesn't look as muscular, shoulders don't look quite as muscular, and he has longer hair in the back, longer than mine for sure. The guy in the picture that we're looking at, hair is a little bit shorter than mine, or about the same length in the back, a little bit less. Could have been a beard he grew around that time. A lot of people grew beards who did not have beards before during COVID, okay, or even at the tail end of COVID. Some people kept the beards, such as myself. Not to mention the fact that in terms of the characteristics, the build, like a medium build guy, black hoodie, then no hoodie. You can see with his white T-shirt on, about his structure. So Gregory Markow, I don't think we can say it's the guy, because he probably has the longer hair based on recent photos. I agree with that. Somebody in Telegram pointed it out. But he's from Toronto and went to a different Waterloo, University of Toronto Waterloo versus University of Waterloo Toronto. So they may have been in school together. I mean, as far as the same time frame. But the guy Gregory is also a professor. He taught some stuff. So maybe I don't know if maybe that's how they met. Maybe that's how he's on the ETH Foundation. But that doesn't mean he's part of Okinami at all. And then I threw a name of some other guy in there today. I was like, here's another guy with a beard. We didn't really follow that one a whole lot. I couldn't really find anything that really impressed me with what he works on, except for layer 2. So if you go to the Telegram, there's one other guy. Hey, I appreciate that. I'll try to keep it. That's what I do. I mean, as having a legal background, having been an attorney for so long, and all my professional work, I know how to research things. I'm not saying I know how to research everything. I don't understand a lot with the high-tech stuff, the higher-level stuff with the technology when it comes to computers, IT, and all that. But I get an idea what they're talking about. I can say when it's complicated and not as complicated. And pretty much anything with Ethereum is mostly complicated. There's not that many simple things with the ETH developers. Crypto is complicated unless you just have a very simple developer project, just makes a coin and just sells it as a meme coin. Then perhaps it's just a plain meme coin. There's not much going on there other than marketing and just a transfers going on wherever you listed it, the Uniswap or whatever. But that was Shib. Its genesis, its creation, Shib was community driven. It was just a meme coin like Doge. It was the Doge killer, if you remember. The Doge killer, they dropped that pretty quick. Because they wanted to be known for something else. Shib Army. And then Shiba Swap. Kind of at its peak. And then during bear markets, Shib innovated after going through 1,000,000% from its beginning. Like 1,000,000%, come on. I don't know if a Shib story could ever be replicated. And this is why I say, we're talking the percentage. Shib at its very lowest. And a dollar becoming $1 million. That is an anomaly, and it's not supposed to happen. It's something that in the system of the financial world, the centralized world tries to stop stuff like that. They don't want people printing their own money. You can see why the SEC and even probably the Secret Service, because they oversee our money in the United States, the Federal Reserve, all the centralized powerhouses, their hands are deep in it. They're trying to control it. The Fed this week probably going to do a 0.25. The expectation's a 0.25. If it pauses, I'd be very surprised, just because the current Fed chair, the way he likes to do things in his hawkish mode, if he's turning hawkish to neutral, he's going to incrementally go down. Just with this, you have to look at human nature. He went 7.55, and then the logical thing he's thinking, I'm going to go 0.25. Crypto's rally, the crypto rally this weekend is in anticipation of that, based on the 99% chance of all of it. It's very high. It's almost in the bag, at least 0.25. A pause, I don't know. So you're going to see a good rally this week, and then February 14th, Shibarium, I bet you drops sometime that day. If it doesn't, a lot of people are going to be disappointed. Probably you'll see some people will sell some Shib. A lot of people are gearing up for that. And be like, Shaitoshi, come on, why would you say that? As far as a heart-shaped box and all the references to Valentine's Day. Because that seems to be how you're speaking in code. Likewise, though, speaking of Shaitoshi, likewise, the way that Shaitoshi talks, the way I've actually observed a lot of the things and the uses of words in various ways. TEH, ETH, or ETH, or whatever it was, or ETH spelled backwards, and so on and so forth. We saw the now in caps, now in NOW caps too. That was a weird anomaly. But there's more in the Ryoshi speaking or Ryoshi talk that I see with Satoshi. Repetitive. This is getting mimicked now to a very alarming rate. Actually, just want to warn everybody out there. I'm monitoring some projects that are just all popping up. Not to say there's anything bad about them, but there's a lot of LARP looking stuff. Everything seems to be copying the Ryoshi model. I've seen with Daruma, Tsuka, Hoichi, just to name a few right there. There's a couple. I know there's some more. There's a lot of real degen plays. There's so many of them right now. They're clogging the market, I think, in terms of new tokens coming out, all claiming to be Ryoshi's next coin. Of all of these now, Okinami's lost in this bamboo forest. Okay? Okinami is lost in this bamboo forest. If you're looking from the outside general market, a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, Dejitaru Shirudo. There's half Shib or something like that. Somebody commented in one of my videos. I'm like, okay. There's a lot of LARP stuff. LARP, live action role plays, like one way to look at it. In the crypto world, for those that don't know, you're pretending to be something. You get around it by saying, oh, we're just a parody. It's all a parody. Although we're defrauding people. There's a lot of gray area in this, but if you're caught, let me just say this. Yeah. Okay. Link to Suka. Let me explain something. There's fraud in the inducement, okay, and fraud in the factum. And the legal systems are very punishing on anything that they can call a Ponzi scheme, on anything they can call a scam. The United States attorneys will burn your ass so fast once you tread into the water of pretending to be something, because they'll say, well, that's a misrepresentation. It's a material misrepresentation. If you are not the people that you're saying you are, and if you just say I'm Ryoshi, it's like, well, are you saying that you're the owner of the actual Ryoshi research account? There is an actual concept of a persona who is Ryoshian, and they would treat that person in the eye of the law as a fictitious person. Though they have legal concepts for that. That's a fictitious person now. Ryoshi's a character, just like we've had other characters out there that we say, well, we don't know who they are, but this anonymous person is clearly a person. But that's their AKA. Your AKA is your AKA. Okay? Especially with the internet and so on and so forth and social media. The legal system has now evolved around the internet quite a bit. And if you're saying, well, I am this fictitious person, and you're not, and you're trying to sell a token to the general public, I want to hear you speak, but last comment is up 57.546 holders. Okay, cool. All right. I'm not sure what you're talking about yet, but let me finish my thought. And that's this. Regulators, U.S. attorneys, the SEC, and every other regulatory body you can think of, the Commodities Exchange, the Consumer Protection Bureau, the attorney generals of every state, the U.S. attorneys of every district that they're in. If they don't care, if you pass through the United States, they will try to arrest you. Okay? There's a lot of crackdown going on right now. And if you are a token project and you're a person behind it saying you're something that you're not, it could be construed, and it's colorable enough in the law to say you're defrauding the public. It's like me coming out and saying, hey, guess who I am? I am Colonel Sanders. Come try my chicken. Right? I'm like, everybody knows who Colonel Sanders is. So that's a very old pop culture character. But if I came out more recently and said, hey, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm selling gold coin rings, and I'm Sonic. Come buy my coins. They're blockchain. Yeah. And you have nothing to do with Sega or any of the entities that own Sonic the Hedgehog. You're stealing the trademark and the intellectual property to make a profit. Okay? While Ryoshi is not a patented thing, nor is it a copyrightable thing unless the person imposes the right to it as the copyright. I guess Ryoshi, whoever the real Ryoshi is behind Shib, could probably copyright their persona to some extent. If you are not aware, the guy who said, "Let's get ready to rumble," okay, that guy, he got a copyright on that. And you can't say that at a sporting event without paying the copyright fee. Because that's part of his persona. He can copyright. He created it. Sufficiently creative enough and original enough. It was performed in that manner in which, in all those cases, he had the copyright to it. Okay? There's other things like that too, you know? A lot of actors have copywritten things that they've said is their own because they did it outside of a contract. So anyway, the Ryoshi thing is a thing I would say that sits in the intellectual property realm. And meaning somebody may claim a copyright to it. I don't know about trademark. I don't think there's a thing that represents Ryoshi in terms of an original logo that was properly registered. Okay, so only copyright. Patent, I've never heard of any patents on Ryoshi. So anyone could claim to be a fictitious Ryoshi. I'm just a fisherman. They can play the LARP defense. You still could defend it. If I was their defense attorney, I'd be like, yeah, just play your LARP thing. Here's a parody. You never said you were definitively that person. But if there's enough communication that you can add up to where a reasonable person could read and interpret it such that they could be misled to think that you are that person, it starts to become more of a grander scheme. It's a scheme now in terms of trying to get people. Hey, how you doing? Hey, Adam. If it's a general scheme, if it's a general orchestrated effort, then it becomes conspiratorial. If it's more than one person, if it's just one person, it could be just a general scheme, a fraudulent activity. And the federal government has a whole laundry list of things related to securities and exchanges, whether it's even fiat exchanges, as well as to the bond market, commodity market. There's a whole slew of laws. There's tons of them. And that's how they broke a lot of these MLMs that were actually more Ponzi schemes than MLMs. I mean, Bernie Madoff, of course. There's tons of others. Bernie's just the biggest one ever caught. So there's tons of federal laws. The U.S. attorneys, you know, they cooked that dude for life, Bernie. Nobody wants to fall. Let me come back to the point I was making earlier. Let's bring it back. Back to the ETH people before I end. The ETH people don't want to be probed by the SEC. The ETH people don't want to be asked questions by government regulators. There are some times that you're in situations that if they say, I want to ask you questions, people will be afraid, and they're going to be like, sure, I'm going to answer anything you ask. Because the SEC is looking at everything, especially if you were somehow Bitcoin, if you're Ethereum, if you're Cardano, if you're Polygon, any major project right now in the crypto space, if they're going to launch a new token, regulators will make phone calls. They will email you, be like, I just have some questions. I just want to know what it is. And if it's not ready to be shown as to what it is, that's a problem. Or you're like, I am not the proper representative of this company to say what it is. You would want to be anonymous. You do not want to be doxxed. So whoever the Okinami person was, okay, filmed by good old Ben on Instagram, is probably somebody they purposely chose who has very, very, very rarely been in the public spotlight. Okay? This is the person probably with an extremely low profile, and maybe even just somebody the ETH team said, hey, let's just take one of our new people and just have them go out there and do this video and bring back the footage because we'll take care of it on our end with our Twitter account. And they'll go on there. Could be the actual person. That person may not even be an ETH developer and just be working on something that is in connection with as a third-party application. We don't know. Not saying that could be. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Could be a good thing. Depends who the third party is. What if it's the people that started Shiba Inu working with Ethereum? What if it's the Cardano people working with Ethereum? What if it's the Polygon people working with Ethereum? What if it's the Solana people? Because Vitalik had some kind words to say about Solana, how ETH could use them. What if it's the Solana people working? What if we're just waiting for a major partnership, if it's third party, to be announced? A major partnership of a third party team working with scaling Ethereum in a new product that they're working on together, and some type of portal that gets you to swapping ETH for Ethereum, Ethereum for ETH, and giving staking validators like buku bucks if they restake. Basically, they just come out of staking this March. This is something I was thinking about this weekend. All these big staking validators this March, April, looking to say, well, what I'm going to do with this. I either have debts I have to pay, or I need it, the money's needed. Or they're going to say, oh, this is something new. The Ethereum folks are offering a new reward if I just restake it. And who knows? What if it's the staking with and wrapping with Okinami? Imagine using ETH to buy Okinami, and you wrap it, meaning you have to pay the ETH fees, and then you have the coin. You wrap and stake it, and then you get big rewards, whatever that is. Maybe it's more ETH. Maybe it's more Okinami. Maybe it's something else, other tokens. Okay? Vice versa, the Okinami people be like, man, I made all this money in Okinami. I'm going to cash out. I'm going to buy some Ethereum. I'm going to do this and that. Okay? And then they use the same portal to be circulating the coin around. And this back and forth between the two and other possible coins, maybe the ones you get as rewards, becomes a very sufficient architecture just to pass around on a swap a lot of money, essentially internet money, that is scaling Ethereum by a huge measure exponentially, simply because of the popularity of the two partnered coins working on something. So it could be a partnership. Finally, thanks everybody in the community. You guys are awesome. You guys entertain my silly theories. I love doing it. I love researching it. I have a passion for it. I'm obsessed with it. And I want to get the story out there. I want to get the truth out there. And like I said with others, I'm here to the end, whatever it is. And whoever's behind this, I have a lot of admiration for what they're doing. In the spirit of DeFi and doing what you're doing, this could help a lot of people out. Everybody in the crypto journey that they have, I love using that term too. If it's your crypto journey and along the way you're thinking, what are my passions? What am I trying to accomplish? I want to put my kids through college. What's yours? You know? Be nice to pay off on somebody's mortgage, or, you know, pay off people's credit cards. And they offer something to people that just, you know, don't have as much resources as the big elites. If you think of the institutions and the super rich, they will come in, they will buy something out once it's on the centralized markets in some way. They'll buy it all up and they'll sell it at the top, and all those little people then get screwed again. DeFi allows a revolutionary way around that. And that's why I have a lot of admiration, because whoever's doing this, I think they have good reasons, good intentions. I feel a good spirit behind it. I don't feel that angst in my stomach. I'll be like, man, I feel like there's some con dude. Somebody's conning me. Somebody's conning me. You know, I don't feel like someone's conning me, because if you were conning people with Okinami, you've spent a lot of resources already to do it. Why not just, you know, quit while you're ahead? I think it would have ended a long time ago. And it didn't. With the surge message, we got the surge message. That was like, hang on here, the surge. Big deal. But let me end by saying this. You know, in my thanking all of you and be very zen about it, I accept that we don't know who this dev is. And in the end, if they remain anonymous forever, kind of like Shib still, so be it. What if it is the next Shib Inu? It'll be the same story, but now with Okinami. Be like, who is this freaking Ryoshi? Is like verbal Kent from The Usual Suspects. I'm like, what the hell? I think the dev will throw us a bone here soon. I'm calling out to the dev, hey, give us some information, something. Just like a little wave symbol on the blockchain. But we'd be like, yeah! He put a little wave emoji on the blockchain, yeah! We hope you're live, dude. I also tweeted to Vitalik Buterin, just kind of said, hey, maybe somebody even follows his page. I just want to know if Ethereum has plans for layer 2. to do it in-house. Maybe somebody responds. Maybe somebody who sees my tweet and be like, yeah, well, I kind of know something about it. Yeah, layer twos, yeah, we're looking at some. That would be a logical thing I'd hear from ETH. I've reached out to Ben on Instagram, just commented on his video and said, hey, do you know who this dude is? Maybe we find out. If I find out anything new, I'm going to tell you all. Anything I find out, I'm watching this like a bat, like a lot of you. And when we find something, we're going to follow the breadcrumb until it takes us to the end. We'll go down the rabbit hole till the end. And then we'll come back to center. Let's focus on the fundamentals. Let's focus on what the token can do. Seems like an amazing scaling project for Ethereum. The wave stuff is all over the ETH Foundation. It's crazy. So with that being said, I love how the community's coming together, how we're just really just putting our minds together for the greater good. And we're not arguing, we're debating things, we're pointing things out, we're being constructive. We're saying we're investigating this together. And somebody, like I said, they got my idea last night and said, Gregory, dude, he's a big dude. Longer hair, looks like a rugby player, and he is a rugby player. So be it, that's great. Let's move on. And that's awesome. Let's process of elimination. We're always going to wonder who the dev is for sure. And we could follow this rabbit hole forever. Who knows? Because if it's a spirit of people, if there's just a team of people just working on this and it's a trade secret, you're allowed to have trade secrets. That's part of intellectual property law includes trade secrets. And you're allowed to have them. And if it's not owned corporately, it can be held by a decentralized organization, which that's what a DeFi organization such as ETH is. And that's something cool. ETHfoundation.org, it's a nonprofit. I believe it falls under the 501c2 or whatever the code in the IRS. So anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the videos, tell everybody about us. We'll see you next time.